welcome back to a new episode and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and also hit that bell icon so you can be notified of any new recipes that we're doing. What are we doing today? We are doing sweet and sour. So it's sweet and sour pork or chicken, that's up to you. This is a slow cooked recipe. There is also the option to do this all in a wok and do it quite quick, but I love the slow cooked recipe. It makes the meat so much more tender and the flavours come out so much more. Everything you will need is in the description down below. There are also some links to some of the specialty ingredients that you can get from Amazon, which I've been using. If you do use those links, great, it supports the channel, thank you very much, and it doesn't cost you an extra penny. So let's get into it. What are we going to need? So I'm going to do the sauce first. So like I said, everything is in the description down below that you will need. I am also hopefully working with the close-up camera today. Fingers crossed that that works. So first off, I've got my sugar replacement, my brown sugar replacement in my pan, and I'm going to turn this on. And you want this on a nice medium to high heat. And then we're going to literally chuck all the ingredients. So this is the soy in there. And in there is also the lemon juice. And then we've also got our sugar-free tomato ketchup. Let's put that in. And you're going to want to stir this continuously until it boils. Once this boils, we're then going to set it aside. So, let's give that a good old stir up. So, while that just starts to come up to temperature, this recipe was requested in the Facebook group, and there is a link for that in the description below. The Facebook group is absolutely amazing. It helps new members, existing members, with how to get going. There's loads of information in there. Plenty of my recipes are in there as well, under the photo album Baking with Bob. There's also the instructions on there as well. But you just find that this group is so super supportive. They help so many people on an everyday basis. So I would like to give a shout out to them and thank you so much for all the support. The other thing I wanted to mention quickly as well, just while that comes up to temperature, is that the channel has over 500 subscribers. I'm absolutely blown away by how many members the channel has gone. I never expected to get this far. I'll be completely honest with you, I was actually just making recipes for myself. Just give this a quick stir. And it was to, oh, big splash. It was so I could log all the recipes and all the foods that I've been eating whilst on a low carb diet. And it just so turns out you all like the recipes too. So thank you so much. Also, as you can see, I'm wearing, a bit small for me this one, but I'm wearing the Baking with Bob merch. Links also in the description below. Let's carry on baking. And then once this comes to temperature and starts to bubble up, then we are ready. Okay, now that's started to bubble, I've taken the heat off. I've turned the heat off. I'm just going to continue to stir for another 30 seconds and then we're going to set this to one side. Okay, I'm now going to set that to one side. Please be super careful with that sauce. It will scald you. It is super hot and sticky, so please be careful. Okay, so now that the sauce is done, I want you to turn your, if you're doing this in a slow cooker, turn your slow cooker on to get that preheated. And next what we're going to do is we're just going to sear the meat on the outside. So for that, you're going to want to grab yourself a wok and some olive oil, just about a tablespoon, and then let's get that meat in. Okay, so you just want to make sure that this meat, whether it's your pork or your chicken, just make sure it's sealed all the way around. And there we go. So now all that meat is sealed. All you're going to do is chuck it straight in to the slow cooker. Oh, dropped a piece of meat. So put that into the slow cooker. And then what I want you to do is to pour the sauce that you've just made. So yes, we're just going to pour the sauce that we've made all over that lovely pork. There we go. Now, depending on which soy sauce brand you use, this can be a bit redder, a bit darker. So give that a little bit of a mix through. And there we go. And what I want you to do is I want you to put the lid on, and I want you to put it on high for 2 hours or low for 4 hours. And that will just bubble away, and all the meat juices and everything will all bind together, and it's such a lovely dish. So that's that on. Next, you can either do this now or before you serve. I'm going to do it now because I've already got the pan out. And you're going to get your peppers, which are cut, diced, quite chunky, and the onion is quite chunky too. And again, with a little bit of olive oil, you're just going to want to saute these slightly. And then once they are done, we're going to pop them to one side again, and then we're going to add them in about 15 minutes before we serve the dinner. What else was I going to say? If you're doing this all quick, make your sauce, do your meat, add then your vegetables, then add the sauce, stir together, thicken up with the thickener, and then you can serve. But the slow cooked version is so much nicer. So again with this, we're just caramelising the outside. We don't want them to go too soft. Okay, once you've got a nice bit of colour on the outside of the vegetables, for the slow cooked version, I'm going to set them, excuse me, I'm going to set them just to one side, and like I say, about 15 minutes before we serve the sweet and sour, I will add these vegetables, sorry for the noise, I'll add these back into the slow cooker to make sure they're warmed all the way through, and then serve. But I will be back to you for that step and how to thicken the sauce. I'm going to leave mine on high, so I'll be back in about 2 hours. So I shall see you shortly. Okay, so maybe it hasn't been 2 hours. I forgot to tell you about the tip. So my tip for today is if you are wanting pineapple in there, please, please, please remember pineapple is high in sugar and carbs. What I did last time, I did one slice of pineapple into chunks and I added that in. Now bearing in mind again the carbs, that will take the whole dish up to about 10 carbs per portion, which I don't like to try to go over in one meal, but you can, if you're just on a low carb diet, it's absolutely fine, you can add that in. But also bear in mind you need to add your cauli rice or egg fried cauliflower rice carbs to this as well. So I personally would say if you're on a keto diet, leave out the pineapple. If you're just on low carb, by all means add that pineapple in there. I am going to add some pineapple to mine today because I am a pineapple fan and I am treating myself because it's my birthday next week. So yes, I am going to add the pineapple in, and I'm going to add that into the slow cooker now so that the juices can go in there over the 2 to 4 hours. So I will be back then. See you shortly. Hi guys, welcome back. Oh, I've just realised I haven't put my Bacon and Bob t-shirt back on. Oh well, let's crack on. So it's been about 2.5 hours for me. My meat is in the slow cooker. I had to think what the word was called again. So yes, that's in the slow cooker. It smells divine. So the next stage now is I'm going to be dishing this up in about 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to take my onion and pepper mix and I'm just going to chuck all that in. A nice stir through. Pop the lid back on that and then just leave that. And And whilst we're doing that, what we can do is, if you're going to do yours like me, I'm going to have mine with egg fried cauliflower rice. So I've got a bag of the microwave rice. Instead of putting it in for the full time, I've put it in for about a minute and a half from frozen, just to make it all smushy and warm. And that will go into the wok with a tablespoon of olive oil. What I've also got is 2 eggs with a dash of soy sauce and a small spring onion or a green onion chopped into it. So let's crack on with this. So we want to get the rice going. So in that goes. Dump the cauliflower in to your wok and give it a good old stir about. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to you are going to want to keep this stirring just until it's nice and soft and ready to eat. And just before we're ready to serve, we're going to chuck in that egg mixture to make it the egg fried. Now, some people prefer their cauliflower rice a bit more al dente. Like me, I prefer mine nice and soft. So I'm going to cook this through, and then I'll come straight back to you when I add the eggs. So I'll be 1 moment. Okay, so now that there is a little bit of colour on my cauli rice, what I've done is I've just pushed it all the way back. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to my wok, and I am going to pour in the egg mixture. Pour it all in and just whiz it round. It's a bit like making an omelette, I guess, but easier. Once it starts to form strings, I want you to chuck the rest of the cauli in, or the cauliflower, and continue to stir around. And there you go, there is your egg fried cauliflower rice. So next we'll want to thicken up this sauce. Now you can leave the sauce as is, but if you are like me and you like the sauce to be just a little bit thicker, you're going to use your mixture here of Xanthan Gum. Mix it in with a little bit of water till you get like a PVA glue texture, and then dump that in and give it a good old stir through. And that will just help thicken up this sauce mixture. And there we go. Let me just show you that on the close-up as well. So there we go. There is our thicker sauce and our lovely sweet and sour pork. And that's it. It's ready to dish up. Now when I dish up, I like to sprinkle on some spring onions or green onions and a little bit of sesame seed on the top just to make it look perfect. And that is it. That is your dish done. That will be, so it's 7 grams of carbs per can't speak today, sorry. It's 7 grams of carbs per portion, or for a quarter of this whole slow cooker. And then obviously add on your extra carbs for your cauli rice. And that's it for another episode. So thank you so much if you have stayed with me all the way through. If you've got any recommendations or any hints or tips or things that you'd like to see, please hit me up on the social medias. And apart from that, that's it for another week. So thanks again for making it this far through the episode. And if you're one of the over 500 subscribers, I thank you so much. I'm still so impressed with that. I will see you next week for another recipe. So stay safe, stay cute, and I'll see you next time.